Happy Halloween, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you how to design your own spooky, super terrifying monster by implementing different tricks and techniques that I've found on various different monsters that make them scary. So this will help you to kind of come up with your own completely fresh monster idea. I'm going to give this my best and I'm going to talk you through, guys, as I go along. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be talking about the competition entries that we had from last week. If you recall, I asked you guys to draw your own spooky monsters prior to me making this video, so I kind of wanted to see what you guys could do on your own, and you've definitely left me very impressed. They're really, really cool. In this video, if you do enjoy it, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel because it's super helpful when you guys do that, and leave a comment with what you would like me to draw next. For now, well, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few different things that I think build up into a pretty freaky looking character. So one of the first things I want to mention is asymmetry, not being symmetrical. You'll excuse my handwriting. it's not the best, and also maybe my spelling's off. But the idea here is that you have a character, and one side of them is a bit different to the other, kind of like the Phantom of the Opera. If I draw like a mask or something going on here, okay, kind of a evil-looking eye as well, because why not? And then the hair is only to one side. Maybe a sad face on this side and a grin on this side. Okay, and then maybe the rest of the body is a bit distorted. So, you know, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, he was always a bit unsettling looking because he had a big kind of hunchback and it kind of went to one side as opposed to it being even. And there's a lot of horror characters that have this kind of appearance where one side is definitely more kind of over the top or overdeveloped or big, or just maybe the other side's just really smaller and decrepit. Maybe you've seen Birkin from Resident Evil 2, and he's got like an eye here as well. That's something else to talk about actually. But his body was like really asymmetrical. He had one side that was just bigger than the other. He came off very, very lopsided, and I think this is something that is very key in making a character very, very disturbing looking. So, you know, I mentioned this eye here. This actually leads me to my next point, which is distortion of form. Let me just write that out real quick here. So you want a character that's very distorted, and if you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, what I mean here is I'm talking about the monster with the eyes on its hands, or like it didn't have eyes on its face. So having an eye here, for example, on your shoulder, or even like you have like a hand, just going to quickly draw a hand here. So distortion of form is basically putting things where they shouldn't be on a human body, and this is always something that's very, very creepy. It's a really, really good way to just draw something terrifying, maybe like an ear, but instead of having nothing on it, you could have like fingernails growing out, just like such easy small changes that are different to what you'd expect from a human form. So that's another really, really great way to make something just look very unsettling and weird and creepy. So another thing number 3 here, let me just label this. This is more of a personal opinion, but a lot of people would agree with me on this. Skinny limbs. Really, really kind of bony, skinny limbs, especially attached to a big body. If I draw kind of like a big torso here, some kind of moobs going on or something, okay? But then suddenly there's this weird, creepy, elongated arm coming off it with these really long kind of fingers. Long and skinny stuff, like, you know, Slender Man? Slender Man is exactly what I'm talking about here. Although he's not fat. you wouldn't have that. It wouldn't exactly be called Slender Man. But Slender Man is overall very, very scrawny, very, very, very kind of thin. If you look at him from a distance, he's always like really, really tall, and his arms are really long as well. Again, that's distortion. That's a distortion of the human form, because the arms should end about here, just past his hips, but they don't. They just kind of keep going on, maybe some long fingers or something. I've seen various different drawings of Slender Man that kind of have that style, but generally, skinny limbs are another thing that I think makes something pretty scary. that otherwise probably wouldn't be scary if it had a big cuddly arm. You know, like a big arm like this. You know, just kind of messing around here, but I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. So that's 3 things that we've covered here. I'm actually going to hide these for you. There we go. So moving on to thing number 4, that I think makes things really, really spooky looking. You'll see this on a lot of modern things. Bulging eyes. Really, really big. If I draw like a face here, this one is, it seems like guaranteed to work. It's always very, very creepy. But draw the eyes really, really round like this, taking up a huge amount of the face. This is already looking a bit like salad fingers. So that's there we go. Instantly scary. Like, look at that. I don't know what it is, but something about huge eyes, especially if you put some like wrinkles under the eyes or something like that. That's something else that I think makes something look immediately scary, because watch what happens when I make these huge. Okay, it's still a bit scary because of the wrinkles under the eyes, but it's less scary. There we go. If anything is a bit cute, especially if I make the eyes shine. It looks almost like kawaii now. Oh, I've left my brush huge. But you get what I point. Get what I mean, rather. You want like tiny pupils, but like huge eyes, and it's more scary if they're looking directly at you. I don't know if you saw that, but when I drew them over here to the side and looking at something else, it's not as scary. But if they're looking straight at the viewer, that's way more unsettling. Look at that. Bonus points if you had some like veins or something in the eyes like this. That's a pretty good way to make something look pretty scary. Anyway, I'm actually going to erase that one because it's spooking even me out. So I'm just going to leave that one blank as I move on to the next one. So another thing that really, really works, I'm using a huge brush again. I need to make that small. There we go. Number 5 here, sharp teeth. This is a kind of a given. You probably guessed that this one was coming up. But if you look at sharks, I'm going to draw a very, very quick shark here. Super sharp teeth, lining the entire mouth. They even have like 2 rows, I think, of really, really sharp teeth. This is just a very, very quick drawing, but I don't know what that eye is, but I'm just going to carry on. But yeah, lots and lots and lots of sharp teeth, and it's very, very scary. If I just draw a mouth here, just like a nose to show you which way the face is going, but it's full of sharp teeth. Like, immediately, it's just scary. Think about any horror game you've played. I think even some characters from Five Nights at Freddy's have sharp teeth. Anything from Resident Evil seems to have sharp teeth. Vampires, you know, they got like the fangs. You know, they want to suck your blood, that kind of thing. They've got the fangs going on. Sharp teeth are definitely very unsettling, especially on very realistic looking things. On cartoons, it's not quite as effective. It comes off a bit, you know, cheesy, but it definitely works anyway. It's better than just having normal teeth. So finally, number 6, do a little circle here. Number 6 is a confident, it's supposed to be an N, grin. Okay, so a character that's kind of smiling at you. So lots of horror things do this, and again, sharp teeth help. Apparently can't speak today, but a big grin. Okay, if a character is, if I draw 2 faces really, really quickly here to show you what I mean, I'm going to draw one with, I'm not going to make the pupils too small because otherwise they're gonna creep me out again. This one is just going to have like a, I don't know, like a almost like a forlorn look on its face. Okay, it's not very confident looking. It looks lost. It looks like this character doesn't really know where they are. Okay, now I'm just gonna duplicate this, copy and paste. Now watch what happens when I get rid of this mouth and I turn it into a big grin. Okay, especially with sharp teeth. That is immediately scarier. And I think a part of that comes from the psychology of, if something is looking at you and it's grinning, it's in control of the situation. But if it's looking at you and it's got a mouth like this or an expression that's not confident, it looks like it's looking to you for help. And that is something that's often done with, I guess, infants in horror games and horror movies, where they are supposed to lure you into a false sense of security, into thinking, oh, this little girl's lost, and then suddenly, like, it turns out they're a ghost and they start chasing you around. But if you look at a monster and it's grinning like this as it's coming towards you, that's spooky. That's very, very spooky. So with all of that in mind, all 6 of the things I was just talking about, I'm gonna put something together, combining all of those 6 principles into a single thing. So I'm gonna go work on that now. Something that crosses all those points. And yeah, I'll get back to you in just a moment. And there it is. I hope you find that as spooky and terrifying as I do, implementing the various different tricks I kind of talked about there. Now, without further ado, let's get to our competition entries. Last time I asked you guys to create your own spooky monster, and well, let's see what you guys came up with in the Discord. Parker, this one can control people's fears. So if you're not scared of it, it can make you scared of it anyway. That is a very, very terrifying jack-o'-lantern style creation with a full moon behind it as well, and some kind of crazy looking slash marks. Really, really cool drawing and a great entry. Thank you so much. So this one from Sloppy Boy, we have a mixture between W.D. Gaster from Undertale, and there's also a bit of Candyman in there as well. That's very, very well drawn, but it's definitely very spooky. I'm very keen on this one. Awesome job, nice mix, really, really cool idea. And while they're not competition entries, this one by Trev and Potato have used the tutorial that I did on how to draw really cool kind of fluid poses, and if you ask me, they've absolutely nailed it. Keep at it, guys. These are fantastic starts. Really, really cool work, and I just had to show these off. Reach out and touch me. That's kind of the first thing that came to my head. Sloppy Boy's got us this Poliwag kind of inspired monster that looks very friendly on the face of it, but then it reaches out and grabs you. And yeah, that's pretty terrifying. This is a very, very cool creation, and you should be proud of this one. Awesome, awesome drawing. Gaming X1 bringing us a sketch of a dragon. That's a very, very long neck and a very menacing look on its face as well. Check out those spines. This is a cool creation. I quite like this one. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to say this one's pretty spooky. I wouldn't want to meet that thing in a dark alley or anywhere else for that matter. Great work. And with that, everyone, thank you so much for joining us and watching this video to the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, because it really, really does help me out. I can't overstate how helpful that is when you do that. And make sure you have a very spooky Halloween. Until next time.